Why play Ekko mid? Well, he scales into a late game beast, he brings massive burst damage, he has very good wave clear, and he's a pretty safe laner. However, if CC'd he won't be able to ultimate and he can get blown up. And he can be very reliant on his W to stun, which is difficult to land. Ekko's passive is his basic attacks, and his damaging abilities apply a stack, and this can stack up to 3 times. The third stack consumes all the stacks to deal bonus damage and grant Ekko a massive burst of movement speed. Ekko's Q is a straight line skill shot which deals damage to all enemies hit. Upon travelling a set distance or upon hitting an enemy, the skill shot slows down and expands in size, slowing nearby enemies. After a short time, the skill shot then shoots back to Ekko, dealing damage to all enemies it passes through. And as the ability deals damage on the way out and on the way back in, it can apply 2 stacks of his passive. Ekko's W has a passive where his attacks deal bonus damage against enemies below 30% health. The active creates a circle on the floor, granting sight of the area, and after a short amount of time it will activate, slowing enemies within. If Ekko enters the circle, he's granted a shield and stuns all enemies for a very long time. And where your team can see this the entire time, the enemies cannot see the circle for the first 2 seconds. Ekko's E causes him to dash a short distance and makes his next attack blink to his target, dealing bonus damage. In addition, the ability can be used as an auto-attack reset. Ekko's ultimate has a passive where an image of Ekko follows him, showing what he was doing 4 seconds ago. The active causes him to go into stasis and heal himself while dashing to his image. Upon arrival, the stasis ends and he deals a large amount of damage to all nearby enemies. For combos, start with W and then wait a short amount of time before dashing in with your E. Use your empowered attack as a second dash and then follow up with your Q and keep attacking away. And a great surprise combo is to use W where you've just walked through. Run until you can ultimate back to it, dealing a massive amount of damage and stunning all enemies within. Follow up with both your Q and your E and keep spamming away with attacks. For matchups, Ekko is great into burst mages where you can easily use his ultimate to avoid their burst. And he can struggle against champions who can easily avoid his Q as he's so reliant on it for his burst. For rune to take this, electrocute just adds to his burst damage. For build orders, start ring and pots into rocket belt and tier 2 boots. After this, a lich bane and a hat are great pickups for damage before finishing a build with any of these as needed. For skill orders, start Q then E then W before maxing Q then E then W, taking ult whenever you can. For summoner spells, take flash and ignite. Starting the game as Ekko, your laning phase is not the strongest, so your main focus is going to be on farming hard, keeping yourself safe and taking good trades where you can. Your wave clear with Q is decent, but it's far more impactful when you have a few points in the ability. So at level 5, 7 and 9 you'll find your wave clear greatly improved. So until you hit this point, the most important thing you want is experience. So contest every farm you can, but if you're getting poked too hard, just make sure you get the experience. From here, you usually want to start hard pushing with your Qs. This allows you a very easy laning phase now, as you no longer have to interact with your opponent and you can look for quick recalls without losing farm, or you can look to roam and impact another lane. And roaming is something that Ekko is a beast at. Turning up in a side lane, Eing and dashing onto your opponents while stunning them with your W, before bursting them out with your combo then chasing them down with your passive, is just a great way to get 2 lanes ahead. And of course, if they do get back to the tower, your ultimate allows for very easy tower dives. Entering the mid game, your bot lane will come mid, which means your golden experience will now be found in a side lane. Thankfully, Ekko is a great split pusher, easily pushing in waves and destroying towers. Push it out as far as you can safely and then either keep pushing for pressure or group back up with your team. Entering late game teamfights, you want to play the assassin. Wait for the fight to start, then afterwards use your W over their entire team. Use your E to double dash into one of their carries, blowing them up, and then either jump on the next target or use your ultimate to get out of there.